latent heat, latent heat, ये क्या होता है? latent heat is amount of energy, amount of energy, amount of energy required, amount of energy required to bring, amount of energy required to bring change in state of, state of, state of matter without changing temperature, without, without changing temperature. What do you mean by this? Amount of energy required to bring change in state of matter without changing temperature, right? Like ice at 0 degree Celsius, ice this is ice. So ice at 0 degree Celsius converts into water at, water at 0 degree Celsius. This is we called change in state of matter. This is solid state, this is liquid state, huh? This is liquid state, and this is, we have solid state. Change in state of matter, that is solid state. Of whole, of whole मतलब पूरे ऑब्जेक्ट का, पूरे मैटर स्टेट ऑफ, मतलब मैटर का change in state is known as latent heat, and that is energy required. So we called it Q is equal to ml. L is latent heat, latent heat, right? And when this water converts into, on heating, 0 degree water converts at 0 degree water comes on heating, it comes 100 degrees Celsius of water, 100 degrees Celsius of water. ये जो 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस ऑफ वाटर है, दैट कन्वर्ट्स इनटू 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस ऑफ वाटर वेपर, स्टीम, राइट? This is we have steam, right, at 100 degrees Celsius. This is steam. So this is we have, this is called gaseous state. This is steam is
gaseous state.
Steam is gaseous state. Gaseous state. Right? So this is we have. Now if unit mass, then it is called specific latent heat. Heat for unit mass, heat for unit mass called specific latent heat. Specific latent heat, right? Heat from heat for unit mass. Heat for unit mass called specific latent heat. Whole object latent heat, whole unit mass specific latent heat, right? So should I rub this?
Yes, sir.
So ice at 0 degree Celsius converts into water at 0 degree Celsius, right? So specific latent heat of fusion of ice specific latent heat of fusion of ice is 336 joule per gram. It absorbs this much energy from surrounding, this much energy it is absorbing from surrounding and converts into water, right? And water absorb heat and then water from 0 degree Celsius to water at 100 degrees Celsius. There is no issue. There is a specific latent heat of fusion of ice. Water converts मतलब on heating 0 degrees water converts into 0 degree ice. Sorry, 0 degree ice convert into 0 degree water. Then on heating, temperature of water rises. It reaches to 100 degree. When it reaches to 100 degree, then it gets stable. Whatever amount of energy you are giving, that is totally utilized by water to convert into steam, that is gas state, right? That is called specific latent heat of vaporization of vaporization of water. Vaporization of water. What? A specific latent heat of vaporization of water. That is 2260 joule per gram. Right? This much of amount of energy it absorbs and convert into steam. This is called specific latent heat of vaporization of water, and that is specific latent heat of fusion of ice. That is 336 joule per gram, and this is 2260 joule per gram. Right? Because of this, when this transformation occurs from water to water steam, or from ice to water, whatever amount of energy is given, that is totally utilized in change in state of matter, no rise in temperature, right? So because of that, what happens when snow melts, when snow
Melts.
melts, so when there is a snowfall, there is no, you know, downfall in temperature is not as much affect the human life as when ice melt. When ice melt, then what happens? It absorbs heat from surroundings. The temperature of surrounding goes down. So, you know, cold, suddenly cold increases. Okay, temperature will go down, and up to a certain temperature. When temperature of surrounding is less than the temperature of ice, then what happens? No exchange of heat. Till the time heat of surrounding is more, but the temperature of surrounding is more in comparison to ice, then no doubt ice will absorb that heat and get melts, right? But when temperature of surrounding goes down below the temperature of ice, then what happens? No exchange of heat, right? So what happens then? That's why on hills, sometimes on certain hills, ice is always present round the year, because whole ice cannot be converted into water, because surrounding temperature goes down below the ice temperature of ice, so there is no exchange of heat between surrounding and ice, so ice does not melt, so it keeps over for around the clock, right? This is, we have latent heat, and latent heat is vaporization. Specific heat of latent of fusion of ices, and latent heat of vaporization. Specific latent heat means unit mass, and when we talk about latent heat, it means whole object, right? It is what given? Joule per gram.
Yeah.
Unit mass. Unit mass of mass in gram needs this much of energy. Unit mass of uh, ice absorb this much of energy to convert into water. So this